All right, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the May 24th, 2022 Hempstead Town Board meeting. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Supervisor Clavin.
Here.
Councilman Carini.
Here.
Councilman D'Esposito.
I'm here.
Councilman Dunn.
Here.
Senior Councilwoman Gooseby. Here. Councilwoman Miller.
Here.
Councilman Muscarella.
Here. Councilman Muscarella, can you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Please stand, hand over your heart. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Councilman. Well done. Madam Clerk, please call the first public hearing. It's a compliment.
Proposed local law regarding regulations and restrictions to limit parking in Oceanside and Woodmere.
Okay, I do not have any slips. Any member of the board wish to be heard? If not, anybody who did not sign in that would like to be heard on item number 1, let me know. If not, may I please have a motion?
Supervisor, I move that the public hearing be closed and the proposed local law be adopted.
Second it.
Supervisor Clavin.
Aye.
Councilman Carini.
Aye.
Councilman D'Esposito.
Aye.
Councilman Dunn.
Aye.
Senior Councilwoman Gooseby.
Aye.
Councilwoman Miller.
Aye.
Councilman Muscarella.
Madam Clerk, please call the next item.
We have a proposed local law regarding parking or standing prohibitions in Elmont, Franklin Square, Inwood, near Island Park, and Oceanside.
Any member of the board wish to be heard? I do not have any slips. Is anybody who wants to speak on item number 2 but did not sign in? If not, may I please have a motion?
I move the public hearing be closed and the board accept the item.
Second.
Supervisor Clayton.
Aye.
Councilman Carini.
Aye.
Councilman D'Esposito.
Aye.
Councilman Dunn.
Aye.
Senior Councilwoman Gooseby.
Aye.
Councilwoman Miller.
Aye.
Councilman Muscarella.
Aye.
Madam Clerk, please call the next item.
We have a proposed local law regarding arterial stops in Elmont, Franklin Square, and Lakeview.
Any member of the board wish to be heard? I do not have any slips on item number 3. Anybody in the audience that did not sign in and wishes to be heard on it? If not, may I please have a motion?
I move the public hearing be closed and the item adopted.
I second the motion.
Supervisor Clavin.
Aye.
Councilman Carini.
Aye.
Councilman D'Esposito.
Aye.
Councilman Dunn.
Aye.
Senior Councilwoman Gooseby.
Aye.
Councilwoman Miller.
Aye.
Councilman Muscarella.
Aye.
Madam Clerk, please call the next item.
We have a proposed local law regarding traffic regulations in the vicinity of schools in Elmont.
Any member of the board wish to be heard? I do not have any slips. Any member of the audience that wishes to speak on this item? If not, may I please have a motion?
I move the public hearing be closed and the item accepted.
I second the motion.
Supervisor Clavin.
Aye.
Councilman Carini.
Aye.
Councilman D'Esposito.
Aye.
Councilman Dunn.
Aye.
Senior Councilwoman Gooseby. Councilwoman Miller.
Aye.
Councilman Muscarella.
Aye.
Madam Clerk, please call the next item.
We have the proposed local law regarding gross weight restrictions in Inwood.
Any member of the board wish to be heard? I do not have any slips. Does any member of the public wish to be heard on this item? If not, may I please have a motion?
I move the public hearing be closed and the board adopt the item.
Second.
Supervisor Clavin.
Aye.
Councilman Carini.
Aye.
Councilman D'Esposito.
Aye.
Councilman Dunn.
Aye.
Senior Councilwoman Gooseby.
Aye.
Councilwoman Miller.
Aye.
Councilman Muscarella.
Aye.
Madam Clerk, please call the next item.
We have a proposed local law regarding school speed limits in Elmont.
Any member of the board wish to be heard? I do not have any slips. Any member of the public wish to be heard? If not, may I please have a motion?
I move the public hearing be closed and accepted.
I second the motion.
Supervisor Clavin.
Aye.
Councilman Carini.
Aye.
Councilman D'Esposito.
Aye.
Councilman Dunn.
Aye.
Senior Councilwoman Gooseby.
Aye.
Councilwoman Miller.
Aye.
Councilman Muscarella.
Aye.
Madam Clerk, please call the next item.
We have a proposed handicap parking on public streets in Floral Park,
Bless you.
Garden City South, Roosevelt, Uniondale, and West Hempstead.
Any member of the board wish to be heard? I do not have any slips in this item. Any member of the public did not sign in and wishes to be heard? If not, may I please have a motion?
I move the public hearing be closed and accepted.
I second the motion.
Supervisor Clavin.
Aye.
Councilman Carini.
Aye.
Councilman D'Esposito.
Aye.
Councilman Dunn.
Aye.
Senior Councilwoman Gooseby.
Aye.
Councilwoman Miller.
Aye.
Councilman Muscarella.
Aye.
Madam Clerk, please call the next item.
We have a proposed local law regarding enacting a new section 86-50 of Chapter 86 of the Code of the Town of Hempstead entitled Construction Site Safety Training.
Okay, any member of the board wish to be heard on this item? I have a couple of slips in. First, Did you want to say something? No. Okay. Remember, speakers, you go to the back, identify yourself. We'll start with Mr. Liu. Good morning. Your name and address for the record.
Good morning. My name is Vincent Alou, with 116 Park Hill Avenue, Massapequa, New York. I'm with Laborers Local 66, Long Island, New York, Nassau Suffolk jurisdiction of the Laborers Union Laborers International Union of North America. I just want to say good morning, first of all, Supervisor Clayton and the board, and thank you very much for your time and consideration of this, what we feel is critically important safety bill for Long Island. I just want to put one quick clip of stats that I looked at this morning in regards to why construction site safety is so important and developing a culture of awareness of that. There are currently 1,850 compliance officers for OSHA throughout the whole country. That's covering 130 million American workers on 8 million job sites, which is one OSHA compliance officer for every 70,000 American workers. So the culture of safety has to start amongst us on the job sites. OSHA 30 is the minimum allowable standard for safety in the industry, and it all begins with us knowing each other's roles and tasks and the precautions needed. So I just wanted to put that on the record. It's critically important. We thank you very much for your support on this.
Thank you for all you do for the members and working with us really for the safety of all these individuals. We look forward to any other suggestions and changes we could do to benefit the men and women in all these fields that are doing a great job. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Supervisor. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. I have now Mr. Slaughter.
Morning, Supervisor, members of the board. My name is Josh Slaughter, 28 Dawn Drive, Shirley, New York. I am the Long Island Political Coordinator for the Mason Tenders District Council, and just here to speak in support of Resolution 41, 2022. Speaking on behalf of the 5,000 strong construction laborers residing here on Long Island, this legislation is very important, and we appreciate you taking the time to work on putting it together. It will ensure that all construction workers employed on large construction sites within the town have the proper safety training necessary to come home safely every day. This is critical for many reasons, but most importantly, it is going to reduce the amount of construction worker deaths, which do represent 24% of all deaths in New York State. So about a quarter of the deaths every year are on construction sites throughout the whole state.
Wow.
There's one construction worker being killed every 5 days in the state, and it's easily preventable. And this legislation is key to reducing those staggering numbers. Also, while it isn't a union versus non-union issue, the New York Committee for Occupational Safety and Health, NICOSH, it issues an annual report titled Deadly Skyline, and the facts show that roughly 80% of the deaths are occurring on non-union sites, and simply because workers aren't getting the proper training, through those contractors. So this will guarantee that all workers, regardless of who they work for, whether they're in a union or not in a union, will have the basic training needed to work safely. It also will protect construction workers who have already completed OSHA 30, because many job sites on Long Island, you have workers who have the training working along workers who do not have the training. And so it does leave everybody still in dangerous conditions and in jeopardy, and this will close that loophole. And lastly, it really does protect the general public. Construction sites that are 35,000 square feet and up, they encompass many public spaces that residents frequent every day, whether it's our shopping centers, malls, renovations, office space, or even housing complexes. These construction sites are in the vicinity of where the public congregate, and ensuring these sites are being built by trained workers will prevent accidents that jeopardize public safety in the surrounding area. So I do again want to thank Supervisor Clavin and his staff for their hard work in drafting the legislation and bringing it forward. And I urge this body to approve the resolution today. Doing so is the right thing in order to save lives here in the town of Hempstead. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and again, thank you. Really for working with us. It is about workplace safety, and that's a staggering number. 24% is absolutely staggering. When you said that, I think everybody had the same reaction. So we're delighted to initiate this and any other safeguards we could put along the way with all the big projects we have going here. You've a board of friends for the workers across this region.
Through the chair.
Mr. Keeley?
Through the chair.
Oh,
Just real quick. Listen, guys, you know my father, we talked, my father was in local 17A, construction workers, and he brought home a lot of friends, and some of them passed on the job. I wish they had this safety back then, so those guys would still be alive. And thank you for testifying today.
Morning, Mr. Keeley. If you give your name and address for the record.
William Keeley, 8 North Tyson Avenue, Floral Park, New York. And thank you very much, Supervisor Clayton, and members of the board for letting me speak on the Resolution 41 of 2022. As previously stated, my name is William Keeley, and I'm a resident of Floral Park in town.
Mr. Healy, would you speak a little louder into the microphone, please?
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Okay. As previously stated, I live in Floral Park, and I'm a resident of the town of Hempstead. I'm also a proud member of Laborers Local 66, and as a construction laborer here on Long Island, I know the importance of this legislation, how important it is to the safety of all the workers who are working on Long Island, regardless of union or non-union. The construction industry is very dangerous, which is why I continually obtain and renew my safety training, including the OSHA 30 standard. While I have many other certifications that help qualify me and my other union members as professionals on the job. I'm sorry, let me see. It's actually the bare minimum. The OSHA 30 is a bare minimum, and I'm glad that we're able to at least set the standard for this. Whether a worker's union or non-union, this training is necessary to keep those workers on the site and with them safe. The annual death toll for construction workers who were killed on a job site in New York over the last decade is 50. This is almost one worker killed every week. Several years ago, New York City approved and adopted site safety training requirements for all 5 boroughs and immediately saw a reduction in deaths in those areas. While today's proposed policy requires less training than our neighbors in the city, it's an important first step. Simply put, this legislation will help save lives.
Excellent.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, and maybe we'll actually we'll do a follow-up with everybody and talk about what they do in the city, and I want to see about, like you said, maybe this is the first step in trying to really protect people and do it the right way, and also sort of be in unison. That's, I think, part of the issue is also being in unison with other governments. But we want to thank you very much, and we appreciate you being here and giving the support to it.
Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Mr. Nigro? Morning.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Brian Nigro. For the record, my address is 131 Brook Street, Riverhead, New York. I come here today, I represent Sheet Metal Workers Local 28. My esteemed colleagues from Local 66 have pretty well covered it. I think this is critical, not just for union workers, maybe even more so for non-union workers. Everybody, regardless of your affiliation, wants to go home at the end of the day. And this is a fantastic way to start. I commend this board for bringing this to the table. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and thanks for coming all the way from Riverhead. If we had known, we would have asked you to stop at Magic Fountain out there and bring in a little treat for everybody here at the town of Hempstead. I thought Josh was a long drive from Shirley, but he's got nothing on you. I don't have any other slips on item number 8. Anybody else who did not sign in wishes to be heard? Then may I please have a motion?
Sure, Supervisor. This was an issue that was brought to us, Josh and his team brought to us before COVID, and I'm glad to see it's finally coming to fruition. Any opportunity we can to keep the workers in the trade safe, encourage training, and promote safety at developments here in the town of Hempstead, whether they're large or small, is a great step in the right direction. So thank you guys for being partners in making sure that we can keep the trade safe and those that are working here in the town of Hempstead. So I move that the public hearing be closed and we adopt the item.
I second the motion.
Supervisor Clavin.
I will, but I would, since William's the local guy, he should take you all out to lunch. I proudly vote yes for this.
Councilman Carini.
Aye.
Councilman D'Esposito.
Aye.
Councilman Dunn.
I want to thank our supervisor for putting this on the calendar and the town board for voting aye on this, and the union for making us aware. This is a long time coming, guys. I vote aye.
Senior Councilwoman Gooseby.
Aye, and I'm very pleased with you. Thank you so much.
Councilwoman Miller.
Aye.
And Councilman Muscarelli.
Yes. Thank you to all of you for being here. And again, it's about the safety of all your members and all your groups. And you're always going to have, people that are going to work with you here in the town of Hempstead with all the board members. So thank you all for being here. Glad to do it. Madam Clerk, please call the next item.
We have a renewal of a contract with the fire companies of the Merrick Fire Department for furnishing fire protection within the territory of the Merrick Fire Protection District.
Okay, any member of the board wish to be heard? Okay, I do not have any slips. Any member of the public wish to be heard on this item did not sign in? If not, may I please have a motion?
I move the public hearing be closed and the board adopt the item.
Second.
Supervisor Clavin.
Aye.
Councilman Carini.
Aye.
Councilman D'Esposito.
Aye.
Councilman Dunn.
Aye.
Senior Councilwoman Gooseby. Councilwoman Miller.
Aye.
Councilman Muscarella.
Aye. Okay, Madam Clerk, please call the next item.
Yes, we have a set of applications. We'll read them together. The application of Bola EM Realty LLC for a variance from the provision of the GSS ordinance to maintain an existing service station and operate a convenience store, as well as area, sign, and parking variances in Merrick. And the companion application is from Bola EM Realty LLC for modification of declaration of covenants and restrictions relating to that same property in Merrick.
Okay, thank you. Good morning. If you identify yourself as the applicant and give your name and address for everybody, we appreciate it.
Of course, Mr. Supervisor. Good morning. My name is David Altman. I am from the law firm of Brown Altman DeLeo, 538 Broad Hollow Road, Suite 301W, Melville, New York, for the applicant. Nice to see everybody. Nice to be in person once again. If you don't mind, just a little housekeeping matter. I'm going to hand up quite a few certified return receipt cards and a few that were attempted delivery didn't make it. So if I could hand those into the clerk.
Thank you very much.
I believe affidavits of mailing and posting were previously also submitted a couple of days ago on May 19th, I believe. So, if you look at the aerial, which is posted up on the video today, that's sort of what the property looks like today. 1589 Merrick Road over in Merrick. It's also known by Section 55, Block 180, Lot 32. Currently zoned Business X and was placed within the GSS Overlay District by Town Board Resolution in 1985. The site itself is approximately 18,000 square feet in area with 180 feet of linear frontage on Merrick Road and 100 feet of frontage on Central Boulevard. Sort of indicative of what I have always referred to as a legacy gas station, smaller sites on relatively busy street corners, indicative of what you saw built in the 50s, 60s, and 70s. This station happened to be initially C of O'd and built pursuant to Town Board Resolution circa 65, and I think the C of O was issued in 67. The existing building, which you see on the top portion of your screen, or the northern lot line, is just shy of 2,000 square feet in area. Perpendicular to the existing building is the Pump Island canopy, which is roughly 25 by or 52, or 1,250 square feet. You'll see the tank mat to the immediate west. That's the gray area. The tanks will remain, as will the tank mat. Right now, there are 3 fuel dispensers underneath the existing canopy. The canopy will remain in place. What the applicant proposes to do is to remove and replace the northern dispensers such that there will now be 4 in total, each being 2 rows of 2 parallel to Merrick Road, going from 6 fueling positions to 8 fueling positions. If you pan slightly to the east or to the right on the screen, if that's possible, there you go. You'll see right now there's actually parking along the east lot line. There's a trash enclosure there, and frankly, it's a little disorganized, but the parking butting up against the neighboring building to the east, which is commercial, it's a small strip center, pretty much a 0 lot line building, as you can see. That condition, if we can pull up the site plan, is going to go away. There we go. If we can enlarge that a little bit. Excellent. So right now there's minimal green space on the site. Bola, and I know the board is very familiar with the Bola product. There are many Bola stations throughout the town and the New York metro area. We'll be adding a fair amount of green space to the site when and where feasible, given the dimensional constraints of the site. We're going from a couple of hundred square feet of green space right along Merrick Road to about 2,600 square feet of green space. Right now, the mechanicals for the building, meaning air conditioning, heat and such, are actually between the building and the north lot line. We're going to be removing those and moving those a little closer to Merrick Road. We'll be placing them along the east side of the expanded building. And when I say expanded building, what I mean by that is Bola proposes a small addition of about 600 square feet or so on the east side of the building, which will allow for the operation of a convenience store. Auto repairs, and I'll just pause right there. I know there are a few folks in the audience who are residents who live behind the site, Mr. Supervisor, fellow board members, who we had the opportunity to speak with prior to the hearing this morning. They raised they raised concerns and frankly complaints relative to the operation of the repair bays at the site. Particularly, I think there's an issue with cars being left on the street. That being said, this is the first we've heard of it. I will be meeting with Bola's principal immediately after this and bring this to their attention. But I want the audience to know and the board to know that Bola, as part of the renovation of this site, will be discontinuing the auto repairs. So what is currently problematic will be eliminated as part of the redevelopment of this site. The building will be used exclusively for the Bola Market brand convenience store and a Tim Hortons coffee shop. We are now operating, I believe, 3 or 4 Tim Hortons within the town. And as part of that, there will be exterior renovations to the building as well, consistent with the Bola brand. On the east side of the building will be a 6-foot solid white PVC enclosure where the mechanicals will now be housed, as well as the trash enclosure. Access will remain pretty much the same as is on Merrick Road, right in, right out. There are currently 2 curb cuts which are on Central Boulevard. As you can see from the colored aerial up, or site plan rather, up on the video screen, we are going to be eliminating those 2 curb cuts and putting in 1 centralized curb cut. So it will make for better and safer access onto Central Boulevard. In addition to the physical improvements I've just mentioned, the existing ground sign, which is located at the southwest corner of the site, is going to be replaced with a new ground sign, which will provide greater and better visibility for the Bola brand, as well as the gasoline and gas prices at the site. And we're putting on new wall signage consistent with similar wall signage at other Bola sites in town, including a wall sign for Tim Hortons. There's a couple of variances as part of this application that are necessitated as a result of the Tim Hortons and Bola brand, which will be on the south-facing facade toward Merrick Road. And again, this board, having seen similar applications, has previously granted variance relief for that. The site in West Hempstead, 101 Hempstead Turnpike comes to mind, as well as the Seaford application we recently completed, which is 4030 Merrick Road. We do have with us today Nick Buscemi. Nick is with High Point Engineering. They are the project civil engineers, and to the extent this board has any questions related to the site plan, Nick can address those. I also have with me today Andrew Villari from Stonefield Engineering. They are our traffic consultants. A traffic report was prepared and submitted in connection with this application. I believe that was dated May 17th. Just summarizing the findings of the traffic report, there will be no adverse impact as a result of traffic. Turning movements, particularly during peak, are roughly an addition of approximately 60 cars, so an additional turning movement once a minute. And ITE, which is the Institute of Traffic Engineers, the national standard, says anything less than 100 really doesn't have an impact. And also as part of that study, we did a parking utilization, and parking is found to be adequate. Even though we do need a small parking variance, parking at the for the site will be adequate. And in addition, as the board knows, sort of the parking at the pumps often serves as de facto for use of the convenience store. So between what's provided on site of 10 spaces plus the 8 spaces at the pumps, you're talking 18 in total. That effectively concludes our presentation. I'll reserve any further comment unless the board has any questions of myself.
Yeah, Mr. Altman, I know we have a number of residents. A quick question for you. Your first picture, I was able to count about 25 cars squeezed onto what exists there right now, and that is because it's a service shop. So that's eliminated, so you're going to do that. How many parking spots did I see in front on the visual?
Parking fronts in front of the store?
For the store. So
there would be 10, I think the plan, if I'm not mistaken, proposes 10 on-site spots.
Right. No, like I said, when you had the first visual up, I was trying to count how many cars they squeezed in there, but that'll transform that. Okay. And then the other thing is, are you installing new pumps?
Okay, we doing new pumps? Just one.
And is that going to have availability for double-digit? Is that going to? Are you preparing for the double-digit gases? I read about that in the Fairness.
I sincerely hope that is not the case.
Yeah, me too. So we have a number of residents who are here, so there might be some questions back and forth, and I appreciate taking time. But hold on, I think Dennis Dunn has a question too.
Yeah, I might have missed it, but did you mention what that pink part is on the pink part in the center?
Yes, that's the pinkish color outline is actually the Pump Island canopy, Mr. Dunn. That's remaining in place.
So how many pumps are under there? Is that you said
There's
8?
3 now. We're going to be adding a 4th, so there'll be 4 total.
Thank you.
And there's no auto repair services now. Currently, there's auto repair services being done on the site, and you're eliminating that, correct?
That is correct, Councilman.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I have a number of slips in. First, we'll start with Anne Marie Vista. Ms. Vista? You don't want to talk? Okay. Okay. All righty. Next, I have Alana Bard. Hi, Ms. Bard. Hi, how you doing? No, why don't we do this? Give you a little bit of helping hand there today. Why don't we, Bobby, you can grab that mic and bring it over to her. She give a little assistance there. If you just give your name and address for the record, thank you.
Couple of concerns. First of all, within the past few months, there was some kind of antenna erected on the top of the building. I'm just curious as to what that is.
I couldn't answer that. I don't know about what the antenna is. If anything, after the meeting, I'll ask my deputy building commissioner, Danny Leo, why don't you stand up there and wave? Smile this time. And he'll meet you after, and we'll send somebody down to find out what that is, okay?
Okay. I live at 6 West Moreland Road. I'm directly behind the station, and my concern is, being that it's going to be open 24 hours, anything open 24 hours becomes a hangout. Right now, throughout the night, at times, there are cars that are getting gas. Their radios, you could probably hear from Merrick to here. That's how loud they are. Windows are starting to open because the weather's getting warmer, and the residents of the street have to listen to that. Is there any kind of signage that's going to be put up saying, please turn your cars off, no loitering, anything like that? Because sometimes it's impossible. You have to listen to that throughout the night.
I don't represent this area, but I know that we've dealt with issues like this in certain stations in my district that were owned, operated, and maintained by the Bola Group. And they've always been, they've answered the phone right away. They've addressed any issues that we've had. And I know that Councilman Carini has a great working relationship with the police department over there, and I'm sure the precinct will be on board too. But for the times that I've worked with Bola in any of their stations, they've always made sure that their neighbors are taken care of and, address any issues right away.
Right now, they're not being addressed.
Well, like I said, I don't, has Bola officially taken control of the station? Okay, that's part. So, Mr. Altman, I know that in other areas they have been nice enough to put up signs about noise and respecting the neighbors. Perhaps you could follow up with this resident and see if we can have some sort of, indication to be respectful of the neighbors who live in this vicinity?
Absolutely, Mr. Supervisor. That was part of our pre-hearing discussion today, and we've had this issue arise on a couple of prior occasions.
I appreciate
Signage is
that.
always posted at the pumps and around the station. No idling, radios to be turned off, things of that nature.
Right, the key word is respect, and it seems that lately people have lost sight of what that means. Another issue is, my concern is garbage. Garbage attracts rodents. We need something addressed where there's not going to be anything, any kind of food.
Well, to speak to
crap laying around. People buy stuff. I see it in the street now. Their wrappers are in the street from the small convenience
I
store
can
that's
say
there now.
one thing, and Mr. Altman will address it. The stations are really clean on the outside. That's the one thing I can say, because I drive around. I get gas all the time, and I have to say the one thing I do acknowledge about them is the cleanliness of the station and the surrounding area. Mr. Altman, maybe you could address where you'll have the dumpster, and also maybe make them reassured, because like I said, the cleanliness has always been it's something that sort of is a draw to the markets in particular.
Well, waste paper baskets, so this way when they're finished eating whatever it is they're buying, or don't finish what they're eating, instead of throwing it in the street on the side of my house or in front of my house.
No, absolutely. Like I said, Mr. Altman.
My husband's out there, and Anne Marie can attest to it. Every morning, he's out there with a picker to pick up garbage that people just throw in the street overnight.
Well, do me a favor. Right behind you is my executive assistant, Melissa Ravihan. She'll give you our contact information. Speaking from experience, BOLA operates very clean sites. If for some reason it's not cleanly, or if the police department is having issues there with noise complaints, you can reach out to Melissa right behind you. Wave Melissa, say hello. She'll take all your information and provide you contact information. If there's any issue there with noise pollution stuff, I'll reach out to the precinct commanding officer personally, make sure it's addressed.
And I don't know if you heard, Mr. They haven't taken possession of the gas station yet.
Okay.
And that's why I said, like, you might see a change of a good neighbor coming in from, like I said, right now I counted. You got 25 cars squeezed in there. And Mr. Altman, you could talk to the policies of BOLA and what, the cleanliness of it.
Yeah, no, that's one of the things the company prides itself on, and I know this board is aware of maintaining immaculately clean sites, the landscaping itself. I know BOLA's site maintenance program requires the site to be inspected hourly for refuse cleanup. In addition, I have provided the speaker with my card as well, so if there is ever an issue and she can't get ahead of BOLA, she can call me directly. My phone is always open.
And the landscaping will be maintained on a regular basis?
Impeccably. It's done seasonally, and it's rotated in and out.
Okay, and one more issue that I had. About 2 weeks ago, they replaced a section of fence bordering my backyard, my property, and in doing so, they damaged a portion of my fence, which was erected by my fence company to block an opening to keep my dogs in my yard safely. And they just finished the fence and left, and this piece of fence of mine was just left wobbling around.
Once again, you haven't taken possession of this gas station, right? Okay, so the issue is they don't own it yet. They're not there yet. So again, why don't we have my deputy commissioner building, we'll go down there, we could send somebody down there to talk to the current owner of the gas station, the exiting, owner of it, to see about rectifying that.
Yeah, because
to be
the
clear,
fencing that they took down that was broken is still...
No, absolutely. So Mr. Leo's going to go, if you want to go in the back right now, Danny will go with you, okay?
You can also send me pictures of the damaged fence, and I'll bring it to BOLA's attention.
That's very nice of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next I have Jody Brinson.
I need to say one thing about BOLA. I have BOLA in my district, and I'm telling you, they really keep everything very, very nice. As a matter of fact, we're getting one soon, and they've already cleaned up all of the stuff that was there that shouldn't have been there. So I vouch for them.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Councilwoman.
Next I have Jody Brinson. If you go to the back there and give your name and address, that'd be awesome.
Good morning. My name is Jody Brinson. I'm an attorney at Nassau Suffolk Law Services, 1 Helen Keller Way, 5th floor, Hempstead, New York, 11550.
Hi.
I'm here, good morning, representing the Romaldo family who resides at 2452 Central Boulevard, which is around the corner from the proposed new BOLA establishment. I just wanted to say, after speaking to Mr. Altman, we did speak with him outside. He was very gracious, explained everything, and did allay the family's fears and concerns about the new establishment. Their primary issue was the parking of abandoned vehicles, vehicles being repaired, vehicles associated with the repair shop, which will no longer be in existence. So after talking to him and also discussing what's going to be done to keep noise at a minimum and the discontinuation of the repair station, we are in support of their application. And Ms. Romaldo also wanted to comment.
Good morning. My name is Brenda Romaldo. I live at 2452 Central Boulevard. Good morning.
Morning.
I just wanted to basically say I agree with the proposal. During COVID, my father was unfortunately hospitalized, and the mechanics had parked across the street, and 2 ambulances showed up, causes reckless, I guess you could say, positioning, and to other neighbors, incoming traffic. It's dangerous. And we've had a lot of issues with them just leaving cars abandoned on the street, so we do agree with the proposal, and we would like for this to be approved and move forward.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Like I said, Bull has generally been good neighbors, what we've seen, and they have cleaned up areas. And that's why I said I saw the 25 cars, so I get what you're saying. So hopefully this will be a transition for the entire area to a better neighbor that you'll enjoy having there.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, for sure. We're definitely looking forward to this. Instead of having a headache, having nowhere to park, especially coming home after a long day of work. Yep. And
well,
walking from like another street and then getting other neighbors mad because we're taking their spots.
Yep.
I don't want to do that,
Well, we appreciate you taking the time to all of you to come down and one, talk to Mr. Altman and his team, and also express, your support of it. It's very thoughtful. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay. I do not have any other slips. Does anybody else wish to be heard on this item? If not, yes, if you go to the back and give your name and address at the mic, that would be great. You go to the back there by the mic and just give No, if you just go to the podium so we can hear you over the microphone. Is this on this item, ma'am? Yes. Okay, just give your name and address.
My name is Marie Cherry. I live in 12 Arcade in Elmont, New York. There is a big issue with building department.
No, are you speaking on this particular item,
Yeah,
the gas station?
No, I'm talking about building department. I applied for a permit since June 2021.
We'll give you a chance. We're just dealing with this hearing right.
People have to know what's going on.
I know, but right now we're doing comments on this application. You'll have your opportunity, okay?
Yes, okay.
Okay, no problem. Mr. Altman, is there anything else you wanted to bring up before?
No, Mr. Supervisor, that concludes our presentation, and I want to thank the neighbors for actually supporting it, and I appreciate their candor and feedback as it relates to the current situation there, and we will do our best to make sure it gets improved and to eliminate the problems, and I know this board believes that as well.
All right, thank you, Mr. Altman. Thank you and your team, and thank you for the residents who came out here today. If that's all, may I please have a motion?
I move the public hearing be closed and the board adopt the item.
Supervisor Clavin?
Aye.
Councilman Carini?
Aye.
Councilman D'Esposito?
Aye.
Councilman Dunn? Aye. Senior Councilwoman Gooseby?
Aye.
Councilwoman Miller?
Aye.
Councilman Muscarella?
Madam Clerk, just for clarification, and that was application 10 and 11 called simultaneously. We just approved?
You are right.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. You too. Take care. Bye-bye. Next, please call the decision calendar.
Yes, on the decision calendar, we have 3 decisions. Number 12 is a resolution adopting a CEQA and determination of non-significance in connection with an application to rezone a parcel of land located in Island Park.
Okay, may I have a motion on items 12, 13, and 14, decision calendar? Or can we do that separately or no?
Separate.
We do
Separate? That's fine.
on 13 and 14.
Then I ask for a motion on item number 12?
Supervisor, I move that the decision be granted.
Supervisor Clavin.
Aye.
Councilman Carini.
Aye.
Councilman Diaz-Bazine.
Aye.
Councilman Dunn.
Aye.
Senior Councilwoman Gooseby.
Aye.
Councilwoman Miller.
Aye.
And Councilman Muscarella.
Aye. Madam Clerk, please call the next item on the decision calendar.
Yes, we have two decisions, items 13 and 14, that will be considered together. They are the application of Ocean Avenue Marina, Inc. for a change of zone from industrial light manufacturing, business, and residence zones to CAS Residence District located on Waterfront Boulevard near Island Park. And the second companion decision is the application of Ocean Avenue Marina, Inc. to amend the Declaration of Covenants and Restrictions dated June 30th, 1982, recorded at Liber 9422, page 166, in the Office of the County Clerk. Petitioner seeks to amend the declaration by eliminating condition number 1, which prohibits any building or structure from being placed on the premises at Waterfront Boulevard near Island Park.
Okay, that was a lot there. May I have a motion on those two items?
Supervisor, I move that both decisions are approved.
I second the motion.
Supervisor Clavin.
Aye.
Councilman Carini.
Aye.
Councilman Diaz-Bazine.
Aye.
Councilman Dunn. Aye. Senior Councilwoman Gooseby.
Aye.
Councilwoman Miller.
I abstain.
Yes. Councilman Muscarella.
All right, Madam Clerk, please call the administrative calendar.
One moment, Supervisor, before we go any further, the applicants for the BOLA matter, I just want to clarify, was the motion to reserve decision on those?
It was granted.
It was.
Thank you.
Madam Clerk, please call the administrative calendar.
Yes, we have on the administrative calendar items 15 through 48.
First, does any member of the board wish to speak on any of the administrative items? All right. If not, I have a couple slips here. First, we have a Felix Procacci. Good morning, Mr. Procacci. If you give your name and address for the record.
Felix Procacci, Franklin Square. On number 33, regarding the standard work week for elected officials, there's a column called Record of Activities Results. I just want to know what that is.
Joe?
The record of activity is simply an indication of what the elected official the time that has been expended on their various functions as an elected official. That's all it is.
So 33.75 days, hours, weeks, what does that number signify?
The amount you're working?
It's fairly self-explanatory. That's what the form requires by the state, pursuant to state law, to indicate what is the actual amount of work that's done by the elected official.
Okay. Take that up. On item number 19, why are we retaining a freelance photographer?
Mr. Marino, if you identify yourself.
Good morning, Supervisor. I'm Gerald Marino. I'm the Commissioner of General Services for the town of Hempstead. Good morning, Board. This is a freelance photographer that the town, we're asking the town board to pass a resolution in the event we need more photographers than we currently have. You'll see that it's $75 per hour, but that's only for the time that they go take the photo shoot. Then if you see in the resolution, they're responsible to go home and do the captions and so forth, which isn't included, which lowers the rate that we would. It's only if necessary. Again, it's only if our town photographers, if there's more shoots than we're able to handle.
Okay.
I think that most of these photo shoots, from what I see, they're more for political advertising, free political advertising for the elected officials up there. and I don't see any need for this. When I suggested just doing a video on substantive things, you reneged on that one, but photo shoots, you somehow are for that. So I'm against that. On number 39, why is that necessary? Why are we increasing the part-time wages of the supervisor's department?
John?
John Mastro, Marina Town Controller. That is to provide funding for the part-time salary of the deputy town supervisor.
Deputy
Thanks, John.
supervisor?
Yeah.
Yes. Is a part-timer?
Well, I wouldn't call her a part-timer by heart. I'm sure you're very excited, and many of you may not know, but today we're making history in the town of Hempstead by appointing Dorothy Gooseby, the first African-American woman deputy supervisor in the town of Hempstead's history, and we're delighted to have this motion. I'm glad all of you could participate. Dorothy is a long-serving member of not only the community, but of the town board, an advocate of her community, and someone that looks out for every resident in the town. So I'm glad that all of us joined here today in making this motion, and I'm glad all of you could to celebrate and acknowledge what a wonderful individual she is and what she brings to the town. So thank you very much, Prakachi.
I just want some clarification. So she's getting an increase of salary to be a deputy supervisor?
She is.
Okay, because that never was before. There have been.
I think she warrants it, Mr. Prakachi.
I don't think so.
Oh, Mr. Prakachi, I think she does.
I'm allowed to have my opinion, and you're allowed to have yours.
I know.
That's why it's America, and you shouldn't interrupt me, and I will interrupt you. Thank you.
Did somebody get that on record? Next, I have Bonnie Garone. Morning, Ms. Garone, for your name and address for the record.
Bonnie Garone, Rockville Center. I too have some questions about item 19, which is hiring the photographer. One of the things I noticed is there is no maximum amount to be paid. Almost every resolution has a maximum. This simply states the hourly rate, but there is no maximum that this person can be paid?
No, again, there's no maximum to it, but it's a line item. It's based on how many hours the person is used. And it would
But
be
the
up
board
to
is
the town.
authorizing an unlimited number of hours. There's no, many contracts that go by have a maximum amount.
Okay, well, Commissioner, you're going to be monitoring what hours the individual may or may not get. They technically might not get any hours, and if there's an issue, they'll flag it for the board. Can you verify that?
That's correct. We actually had this some years ago in 2016 Center. We had about 6 or 7 on-call photographers, so to speak, and we monitored the hours, and they were rarely used. It's just nice to have in the event that there's vacations and an emergency or there's more than one place to go.
Or COVID. We did run into that issue a couple of times. Yeah, absolutely. Okay.
And how was this individual selected? Because that's not recited here either. Was there an RFP? Was there a request for bids? How did you pick this person?
The person was recommended through the photography department, and we looked at his resume, and we were very comfortable with the person.
That's interesting, because where is the photography department and how many people are in it? Because I looked at the master resolution from January that listed all the departments and employees, and there is no photography department.
No, it runs through general services.
I know, but this recites several times here the photography department. If it doesn't exist, why is it in here?
It's the department within general services. That's why it says general services there.
Yeah, I understand, but there's a list. There's DGS Animal Shelter, DGS Building and Grounds, DGS Cemeteries, DGS Traffic Control, and General Services. I've not seen any DGS Photography Department.
Okay.
Why do you say it if it doesn't exist?
Okay. We refer to the people who work in that area as in the photography department, but they're under DGS.
I see. So we're making it up. I'm just going to move on then to item 35. This is for downtown revitalization in Baldwin. And this grant agreement indicates that is effective as of May 11th, 2021, which is more than a year ago. It was signed by the Chief of Staff in December. Can you tell us why this took so long? As I understand it, this allows a total of $480,000 that the town can award from $10,000 to $200,000 to local businesses for certain purposes. And the businesses sorely need these funds. So can you tell me why this took so long to get on the board's calendar and what the time frame is right now?
Commissioner Rodkamp, John, as you're walking up, this is for the downtown revitalization of Baldwin, am I correct? Okay, so it isn't awards to the small businesses made representation, but this is Commissioner Rodkamp.
Good morning, Supervisor, members of Town Board. Resolutions 35 and 36 both have to do with the DRI for the downtown revitalization initiative for Baldwin. And I believe that this resolution is just what's the word? Yeah, ratifying and confirming of it, because as you said, the Chief of Staff did sign this in December, and this is now we're just moving ahead with these specific projects.
Well, what is the timeline? Have you put together or conducted the outreach that's required to let businesses know that this is available?
No. This is part of the DRI where we had public hearings and public forums even during the pandemic for the revitalization. We did this with the state.
No, excuse me, Supervisor. This is particular funding to be awarded by the town to businesses in the Baldwin revitalization area, and there's a particular requirement in here for a marketing plan. It's very detailed. It says the town will conduct outreach to all property owners and business owners of these particular grants being available. Has that been done? Has it been started? Is it planned?
Okay, so to answer your questions, yes, it has started. VHB has been approved by the town board as a consultant. That's part of that $600,000 grant. They have put together the requirements and the application of what actually needs to be, how to apply for these funds. That is complete. We have not had the public hearing yet because we were waiting for these resolutions to be completed so we can have a community meeting with all interested parties at the same time.
And when do you expect that will happen, or when will these informational flyers be circulated, et cetera? When will this happen?
Probably next month.
Probably next month. Okay, I'm out of time. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for supporting our flyers. I don't have any other items or people want to speak on the administrative calendar. Anybody did not sign in that wishes to be heard? If not, may I have a motion on the administrative calendar?
I move the administrative calendar in its entirety, except I recuse myself from 37 and 39.
Second.
Supervisor Clavin.
Proudly on all items, yes.
Councilman Carini.
Aye.
Councilman D'Esposito.
Aye, and congratulations, Deputy Supervisor Gooseby.
Thank you.
Councilman Dunn.
I too congratulate our Deputy Supervisor, Senior Councilwoman Dorothy Gooseby.
Thank
for
you.
becoming our first, well, actually, you're not the first deputy, but you are an incredible addition to this board. You've been helping me all along. It's about time you got compensated for it. I vote aye.
Councilwoman Miller.
Aye, and congratulations, well deserved.
And Councilman Muscarella.
Congratulations, and absolutely.
Deputy Supervisor, congratulations.
Supervisor, I make a motion we adjourn.
Can I get a second on that?
Tommy.
I second.
Good job, Tommy.
Supervisor Clavin.
Aye.
Councilman Carini.
Aye.
Councilman D'Esposito.
Aye.
Councilman Dunn.
Aye.
Senior Councilwoman Gooseby. And Deputy Supervisor.
Ah, there you go.
We'll have to figure out what you want to be addressed at. Madam Deputy Supervisor Gooseby.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
And you're an
You vote aye?
I would
Can I vote?
Yeah,
I
you
can
get to vote now. You get to
Oh,
vote now.
aye.
Councilwoman Miller.
Aye.
And Councilman Muscarella.
Aye.
With the new placard there, add another line to the bottom of that one, Senior Councilwoman Deputy Supervisor. Meeting's been adjourned, but as is customary, we will stick around to hear the comments of the residents. I have a couple of slips in here, and we will start with Felix Percacci. No, I know, she'll... Morning again, Mr. Percacci.
Felix Percacci, Franklin Square. At the last meeting, I mentioned that the town's drug awareness program was only available in person. If the town board feels this program is important, it should also be put online. I also mentioned that the town has not put its Narcan training course online either. In addition, I suggested the town board spend $12 million of federal CARES funds, as much as the town spent on air conditioning upgrades, on opioid addiction programs. Mr. D'Esposito's response was many parents and grandparents who thanked him for providing Narcan training have a different mindset than me. My mindset is to make government efficient. My mindset is to allow residents to have access to critical information at any time that is convenient for them. My mindset is to use $12 million in federal COVID-19 funds to help people overcome their drug and alcohol addiction. My mindset is for the town to distribute COVID-19 funds in a fair manner. My mindset is if upgrading air conditioning systems is necessary in fighting COVID-19, then the town should have notified applicants of federal CARES funds that this was a valid expense instead of putting more than half of their federal care funds they received in its reserves. If any of the town board members disagree with this mindset, I respectfully ask them to speak up and explain to their constituents why they oppose putting drug awareness programs online, why they oppose giving $12 million of federal CARES money to fund substance abuse programs, and finally, why do they feel federal CARES funds should be only used to upgrade air conditioning systems belonging to the town of Hempstead government and not provide federal CARES funds for other government or charitable agencies within the town?
So I'll speak to the drug awareness. So the issue that we have with putting drug awareness online is that the purpose of holding the classes throughout the town of Hempstead is to provide those who attend with the life-saving drug. It is a drug. It's a prescription drug, Narcan. I am not, nor is our medical director, comfortable with putting Narcan in the mail and mailing it to people. That is why the class is not put online.
And that we would be in trouble because then we'd have people taking it without our knowing it. So this way we know who gets it and who's going to take it instead of having the entire community who does take drugs get those.
And clearly they're well attended. You were here that night. You didn't want any Narcan because you were here to videotape and I guess make a point. But people do attend these meetings, and whether there's 3 people there or 300 people there, when they leave with the drug, it is a prescription drug, Narcan, we hand it to them, they fill out a form, we keep the lot number and the case number of every box that's distributed so we can keep track for the grant. I don't feel comfortable mailing drugs through the U.S. Postal Service, and neither does our medical director. I think it's pretty simple, and it's been explained in the past. I'm not sure why we're going to continue on down this same road, criticizing an actually pretty good program.
You stand corrected. It's not a pretty good program. It's a very
thank you. I
successful program.
Starting my clock before I'm speaking. I'm waiting for you to finish, and they starting my clock.
Oh, I'm done. I've said my piece for many times.
Let me finish that.
Well, before
First of all,
you asked us to speak
no,
on.
you're wasting my time.
Mr.
Please
McCarthy,
let
Mr.
me
McCarthy,
finish
Mr.
my
McCarthy.
time. This is
clock
not a
just stopped.
Q&A.
Dennis, hold.
Felix, take a breath. Relax.
5 minutes ago, you said don't yell and interrupt people.
This is my time.
You asked the question. I was answering it.
I didn't finish my statement.
Okay. Go right ahead, Mr. McCarthy.
Finish? The response here to you people, which I didn't even bring up, is I'm not asking anyone to put any drugs in the mail to people they don't know.
Well, you are, because you're asking.
I'm done now.
All right, great.
So let me continue with my statement. I got more on my miscellaneous calendar. I received a letter from the Ethics Board on May 18th regarding my ethics complaint of October 18th, 2021.
Can we go back to Narcan for a minute?
The letter was dated March 3rd, 2022. I would like to know if the town attorney knows when this letter was actually written, and if it was written on March 3rd, and why it took 2 months for the Ethics Board to send it to me. Also, the letter did not contain all the issues mentioned in the complaint. Why is that? And I'm asking the town attorney to answer. If he wants to respond, I want to give him an opportunity to respond.
Mr. Bacacci, we've enjoyed your company for over a decade here, and you know this is the public, comment section, and you know that it's your opportunity to speak, which you so passionately do. I would recommend either a phone call or you'd love to send a formal email to the town attorney as a follow-up.
I sent an email on May 18th after I received it to Mr. Leventhal, CCing the town attorney, and he didn't respond. I sent the letter on April 1st about this, and he did not respond. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Bacacci. Have a wonderful Memorial Day weekend. Next, I have Bonnie Garone. Good morning. Name and address, please.
Bonnie Garone, Rockville Center. This may sound surprising, but there are elected officials who actually engage in dialogue with their residents, who answer questions, provide information, and treat them with respect. And those elected officials find they can actually learn things from those interactions. They're better able to understand and meet the needs of their residents, and the residents know that their elected officials are hearing them and working for them. And that doesn't happen here, unfortunately. Now, the prior back and forth notwithstanding, your policy of no questions or interactions, unless, of course, you want to say something self-serving, your policy of no questions or interactions at public comment, sitting there stone-faced while people come up here and ask you sometimes heartfelt questions, is disrespectful. It's not useful for residents or for the board, and in my opinion, it's not good government. And finally, Mr. Supervisor, your habit of waiting until the speaker's time is over so they can't respond, and then engaging in your own self-promotional monologue when no comment is permitted because the person is out of time, in my opinion, that behavior is bullying, and it's not appropriate. Makes you look like you're afraid to engage with your residents. And I used to wonder when I first started coming here why there were so few people who wanted to take advantage of this opportunity to actually speak to their elected officials. But having been coming here now for about a year regularly, it's no wonder to me anymore why so few members of the public come here to these meetings to try to have input into town government. I know it's not easy. I'm an attorney, and I'm used to standing up and speaking. But I know it's not easy for most people to come to a meeting like this in front of many people and stand up and speak. It's even harder when you see how people are treated. You know you won't get answers, and often you won't be treated nicely. It's easier for residents to just stay home, which seems to be what you apparently want. People staying home and not coming and having interaction with you. I think that's a shame, and I think we deserve better.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Garone. Have a great Memorial Day weekend. Next, I have Ms. Sherry. Oh, if you just go back to the mic there and give your name and address, that'd be awesome. Thanks. Just give your name and address again. Thanks.
Thank you. I'm sorry about earlier. My name is Marie Cherry. I'm here because of building department. I bought 2 property in Elmont, back on March 2021, I applied for a building permit because I buy the house with existing bathroom in the basement, so I want to legalize everything, make sure everything is legalized. Building department been give me a hard time and very disrespectful. Not all of them, not the inspector. The inspector very nice people. You get plumbing, they're very nice, and the commissioner also very nice person. But other the staff, they treated me badly. They even call me cripple. I was surprised to come in building, in government building where people very disrespect call me. Don't call me by my name. I come and I say, good morning. What this cripple doing here? He was hurt. I end up in the hospital. Who want to be cripple? So he was hurt. So now I just want, why they don't want to give me permit? I cannot sell the property. The property been in contract since November. They don't want to close with open permit. No one want to give me the permit. I call everyone. No one want to give it to me. But I would like to know, what should I do? Now they said they're not gonna give it because you need to do subdivision. Subdivision is done, is complete. Even is complete, now I bring the certificate, now subdivision accepted. So they still don't wanna give me the permit. Now they turn around, you gotta knock down your fence. I got a picture for other fence I take on the area, more higher than mine. Now you're gonna knock down your fence. I don't mind to knock down the fence. When they're gonna come down to do the final inspection to sign off the open permit. I want to sell those property. I am losing money. I am paying mortgage $3,895 a month for one, $2,690 for the other one. I'm losing money for that 1 year. Do the math, you see how much money I lose. I could just put the house for sale in 2 months. So why other investor come here, they get permit in 7 days, and some investor come here, they cannot get permit when they want to do things the right way. You get the chief police in Nassau County come and tell me, thank you, you buy this property. They used to call us every day because it was a drugs in this area. Since you come here, we don't get no call. Why I'm doing good thing in Nassau County, and they refuse to give me permit? I don't understand.
Okay. Well, I know I see the building commissioner and the deputy there. Perhaps you can go to the back room and talk to them about it, and they can walk you through the process of what it's going to take to get to the finish line of getting the CO. Agree? So if you go to the back there, they're going to meet you right now in the back, the commissioner, the deputy commissioner.
Should I know about my case before?
Okay. Well, I'm asking to. I got you, and I'm asking to go back there right. I got you, and I'm asking them to go back there with you right now. Oh, no problem. Next, I have Dorothy Claus. Hey, Miss Claus, how are you? You need a little help? You want to? Somebody, Bobby. Thanks. Perhaps you could bring the mic over to Miss Claus. Miss Claus, stay right there. Hang on, we'll bring it over. Good morning. If you just give your name and address for the record.
Good morning. D.R. Claus, residing at 682 Cottage Street in Uniondale. I was here last meeting, and I was assigned someone in the back to go over my complaint. I haven't heard anything since, so I'm here today. I took time last week to go over my deed with a magnifying glass. This is my property. The lot number is number 11, not 00010. I'm in my home since 1975. It's all paid for. I pay my taxes on time. I try your offices to get appointments to see you all, but nobody is available. I call, oh yes, I make trips to the assessment office by paying for rides to go. I cannot drive because I lost my 3/4 my sight. I say, you know, when I attend the meeting, I was dressed casually. This is the way I used to go to work before I retire. This was one of my outfits. Maybe close to you all make a person, it doesn't. The residents is who you all supposed to be meeting with, else you don't know what's going on. Meeting your counterparts does not answer or take care of the situation. Now, I am a senior. My time is short. On my block, we have lost about 22 people already within the last 3 years. I don't know when my time is going to be, but I want to get my affairs in order. I cannot have my property rearranged by your county and no explanation. As for the taxes, I've been calling the state, calling Social Security to get 1099s. You know what the problem is? Nassau County is behind sending information to the state. That's why we didn't get our enhanced tax, our enhanced star reduction. The only thing they had on file for me was 2017.
So,
Ms. Claus, obviously, the issue stems with the Nassau County Department of Assessment, and the state handles the enhanced star. And I know that one of the
Excuse me, I just told you, I am not a novice to administration. I used to be an associate.
I understand that very well, Ms. Claus, but I'm also saying, no, Ms. Claus.
You assigned someone last time.
And they just,
they should have called me back.
By the way, I'm not going to disagree with you at all on that.
Say that when you tell a resident or anyone you're going to call them back, call them back. Let them know where they stand or send something in writing. If you can change my lot number in your office, then you should have been able to send me out something.
Ms. Claus, but the catch is, Ms. Claus,
why is the lot number
we
changed?
can't, we don't change lot numbers. That's not, but no, that's not, that, no, ma'am, I'm not disagreeing with you, but that's not the town.
No, don't tell me.
Ms. Claus, it's Nassau County Department of Assessment. The town doesn't have the authority to do that. And I know that Matt Paccione was nice enough to call up to the state, and I haven't called him back. But the town of Hempstead can't change lot sizes, can't change any of that. That they, Ms. Claus. No, I'm not. I'm not at all. I'm just telling you that we don't control that, but it's the Nassau. Okay.
Sir, do not.
Ms. Claus, again, I was the, ma'am, we want to help you, Ms. Claus, but it's not the town of Hempstead that controls that. It's the Department of Assessment. We have no access to that.
Your government in Nassau County has changed it, okay? Even the people who are trying to purchase houses, when they send me things in black and white, they have lot number 010. See, this is my plot number. You see, this is my property. It's 1150-125. It has been that way. I purchased my house in 75. I moved in there in 75.
Ma'am, I know that Matt from my office, I know I don't represent Uniondale, but Matt from my office happened to be in the back of the room.
Who represent Uniondale and Hempstead, address it, please.
Yes, I think there's an option here for us to reach out to your county legislator, Kavan Abrahams.
Ms. Claus, walking up to you right now is Sharice Vanderhall. She's the deputy receiver of counsels to the receiver of taxes. I don't know, but this attorney right here.
I don't know who it was.
Ma'am, She's going to help you.
If your bosses can't help me and they're telling me it hasn't done, what could you do for me, ma'am?
Ms. Vanderhall, I appreciate you giving her a helping hand. Thank you very much.
Check with your assessment office and send me something.
Okay.
I'm finished, you know.
Okay. Thank you. Next, I have a Diane Madden.
I'll be there.
Good morning, Ms. Madden. If you give me your name and address for the record.
Good morning, Diane Madden, Hempstead.
Senior Councilwoman.
I think a lot of that could be resolved by communication with this woman for 2 weeks waiting for a phone call. Sounds like you have, Supervisor, people that make you look really good and people that make you look really bad.
Miss, please, you know, she needs to go to the county. We don't handle what she's asking us for. We're trying to help her to do that. You know we don't handle deeds and so forth here. You know that.
Excuse me? I didn't know you were addressing me.
Already, I don't want her to get more upset than what she is. So please, we could help
her. You know, that's communication problems, Councilwoman. That's and someone failed here. And I would want to know the names of the people that were supposed to call this woman.
The person that failed this woman is the Nassau County Department of Assessment in New York State. And we shouldn't look to score. And you know what? The fact that we're trying to help her is is the right thing to do. And you know it, and everybody knows it here, that we don't control the section block and lot and changing that information. And obviously, no one's helped her at the county level, and we're going to do the best we can. And that's the reality of it. But, you know, we're helping her, and we shouldn't try and make it look like we're not, or we're doing things to hurt her. That's just not the right thing to do.
Well, it sounds like she had an issue with no one responding to her after the meeting. So
actually, it's wrong. You're wrong about that. Again, you're just making a representation that isn't right, because Steve met with her right after the meeting at the last one. So it's just not a fair representation to make. Please.
Let's move on, because my clock was going before I even started speaking. I would just like to confirm that there is no longer an appointment needed to adopt at the animal shelter. Is that the case?
Morning, Mr. Marino.
There are no appointments necessary to adopt an animal.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Supervisor, for that. I mean, quite honestly, I'm appreciative, but it should have not taken public outcry or for me to come to these meetings to get to that point. I would be appreciative if you would continue to be proactive instead of reactive, because we're still dealing with the same management that treats the animal shelter like a private shelter instead of a public-funded shelter. There are currently 63 dogs in the animal shelter. Only one is in foster care, and that's only because of a volunteer. You have major problems at the shelter. There's no foster provider coordinator, no volunteer coordinator, no events coordinator, no rescue coordinator. It's just basically the same few people wearing 10 hats, hiding behind emails where no one signs them, so that the public can't figure that out. And that was to replace the top experts that were in the animal shelter that did all of these things and brought the shelter up and had a glowing reputation until Mr. Pastore took over. Volunteers are being told now that they can't walk certain dogs because the dog's behavior is deteriorating, which also comes as no surprise. I'd like to know when these volunteers will be trained to handle dogs instead of being told they can no longer handle dogs.
I'm sure the director will let people know when that's available, Ms. Madden. I appreciate it bringing it to my attention, as always.
Thank you, Supervisor. I'm not counting on him because chances are probably most of the people there haven't received a memo that the adoptions have opened up, and I'm sure that's a result of elected officials being very much aware that the place is run and looks like a morgue instead of a facility that people should be bumping into each other. Even employees are leaving. Please read their resignation letters, and they're fostering elsewhere. You have a major problem with the foster care program when you have one dog out of 65 being fostered.
Okay. And I do appreciate you pointing out, Ms. Madden, you know that.
No, I appreciate that, and thank you for opening up adoptions.
Thank you, and I think there'll be other, things opening up down there too.
I'm looking forward to it.
A good Memorial Day weekend to you, and now I have
you.
Stu Kroll.
Stu Kroll, Great Neck. Before going into my main topic, I just want to say regarding the Narcan program that I did attend that, and I actually found that very worthwhile. So that's what I'll say on that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kroll.
Welcome. Mr. Clavin, you made numerous campaign promises when you ran against Laura Gillen. One of them was to improve the state of the animal shelter. You acknowledged there were numerous issues which required immediate attention. Your promises assured you support from the many animal advocates, of which I am one. Unfortunately, you have failed, rather markedly in living up to these promises. Incidentally, your promises to also severely curtail mailers and as for the resignations of your commissioners didn't work out very well either. However, as many of them are here, you may want to fulfill that pledge now. I suspect not, however. Let us turn our attention back to the animal shelter. How can meaningful change come about when the same uncaring and/or incompetent leadership remains in place? Our shelter director, Pastore, sends cats that are often adoptable to a feral cat sanctuary. These cats will likely not survive there. He gives a clean bill of health after personally inspecting a facility in Utica that turns out to be abominable. Our behaviorist has claimed to have numerous necessary credentials that, in fact, that she did not possess at the time. Our dogs languish inside, getting minimal exercise at best. Cats are often caged. These animals should all be getting quality socialization so that numerous adoptions would soon follow. How have you tried to improve shelter conditions? Even Laura Gillen gave it a fresh coat of paint. I would hope that you'd care about the fact that these animals are languishing away and suffering at the shelter when they should be enjoying being in a good home. That will happen only when new leadership comes into place. Broken relationships with many private adoption facilities need to occur. Also, some of the shelter employees, as I found out on the phone, tend to be somewhat rude and uncooperative. They need to be reminded that they're actually working for us, we're not working for them. You told everyone what you thought would help you at election time. However, very little of what you have done has actually come to place. You now have the opportunity to correct this and do the right thing, and I don't see how it would actually hurt. You could make this shelter a model shelter which other towns would hope to emulate. It will not hurt you politically or the party to do the right thing. The money has already been allocated. Here's an idea for you. Mr. Uri, who was arrested and charged with numerous counts of torturing animals, was exiled to the highway department. Maybe he's lonely, and Pastore and Fonte can be sent there to keep him company. Yeah, have a nice day.
Happy Memorial Day, Mr. Kroll. Thanks for visiting the town of Hempstead. I don't have any of the slips of anybody else. If not, have a wonderful day and a great Memorial Day weekend, everybody. Thank you all.